just gonna hop into it.
Yes.
I feel like I could literally sit here and talk to you.
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Bakara W.
And how old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay.
Took me a sec.
So how do you feel at 29?
Oh my goodness. I feel so grateful to almost be out of my 20s. And I also feel the same ego fear that everyone who's leaving their 20s feels, which is I won't be in my 20s anymore, so I won't be at the apex of beauty and desirability and all those things that society tells me to. I feel both.
Okay. So, and this is a loaded question, I know, but who are you on a soul level?
That's such a good question. I feel like I've spent so much time trying to figure out who and what I am. I've been playing this weird game of, are you my mother, with the universe? And I think when it comes down to it, I am a channel for someone. I'm a messenger for someone. I'm here to help somebody. The only thing that's given my life meaning and purpose has been connection and knowing that something I've done has helped someone else. And so I'm a healer.
So another loaded question, is there anything or one thing you want to talk about from past or present that has molded you into this person, that has brought you to this soul level?
I mean, I think that a lot of people, when they, there's obviously so many things that have shaped me, and a lot of those things I had no control over. I had a traumatic family situation that I had no control over. I lost a parent that I had no control over. I lost friends that I had no control over. But I think the willingness to honestly and objectively examine myself has been the most useful in shaping part of my character, to be able to look at my imperfections through, the first time was through the steps of a 12-step program, and since then it's been a million different ways on a million different days, but being aligned with my shortcomings on a daily basis as well as my strengths has been my most definitive. It's what I like the most about myself, and I think it's what people resonate with about me the most.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to give you 3 categories.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what kind of takes the front seat in your life.
Okay.
And then we'll work our way down.
Sure.
And you can mix and match these too.
Okay.
Okay. So the first category is love, sex, and relationships. The next is society, culture, politics. And the third is spirituality and or religion, because obviously those don't always go hand in hand.
Okay. Definitely spirituality and religion is number 1. And then I would say culture and politics, and then I would say love and romance.
Okay, so let's start from the top. So spirituality and religion, why and how is that at the top for you?
So I have the same priorities and hopes and dreams as any other 29-year-old millennial. Love and relationships and belonging and all of those things are extremely important to me. But it has come to my attention over the course of my life that the quality of love and relationships that you have is directly reflective of how you are and what you are. And so spirituality has always been number 1, because when I need to evolve or when I need to change, like, that is the drawing board I come back to. So keeping spirituality number 1 is synonymous with keeping myself number 1. And then everything in the external world is always determined by that, by the quality of my spiritual practice, by the calmness of my internal
And then you said society, culture, politics was next. So tell me a little bit about that. Like, what are your views? What are your thoughts on society right now? Are you into politics? I know a lot of people aren't, but then a lot of people are like obsessed. So.
I used to be obsessed with politics. I am no longer obsessed with politics because it is a cosmic drama at this time that does nothing but dementor me. It just sucks my soul out of my body.
Yes.
So I don't watch it in the same way that I once did. But I mean, society as a whole, you don't need to watch the news to understand that society as a whole is experiencing an absolutely catastrophic imbalance at this time. And you can see it, I mean, as above, so below. You can see it in our climate. You can see it in our culture. You can see it in rape culture. You can see it in misogyny. You can see it in racism. You can see it in xenophobia. And like seeing the level at which it has been normalized and okayed, it feels really essential to be part of the medicine for the society right now. And that doesn't always look like political activism. It doesn't look like watching the news, but it looks like counteracting selfishness and greed with generosity, counteracting looking out for number one with community. So I do feel some kind of imperative as a healer to look in the eye the truth of our society at this moment so we can best determine what it needs.
Okay. And the last was love, sex, and relationships.
Oh
So
my God.
tell me a little bit.
I don't even know her. I mean, love is, no matter how far I think I get away from love, love is always the guiding force in what I do. I've known for a long time that I wouldn't be able to keep a job unless I loved it. I knew that I wouldn't, all the things that I search for and hope for the most are motivated by love. So I took a very intentional step back from love and sex and relationships, and I guess romantic love, sex and relationships about a year ago. So I could get enough space to kind of watch the horror of the pattern that I repeated my whole life, starting at my father and ending at, TBD. Yeah. So it is something that I take very seriously. I want partnership. I see myself in partnership, but I'm no longer willing to repeat a cycle that ends nowhere. I would rather be alone.
I feel that. I fucking feel that. Okay. So I'm going to get you to draw now.
Okay.
And I want you to pick colors that represent, and you can just flip until you find a blank page because there's tons of people who,
Oh my God, this is amazing.
So yeah, just pick any colors that make you happy, that remind you of yourself, that remind you of your life, that remind you of the space you're in. You can use as many colors as you want to, so don't be shy. Love that train.
The hell train. This is the train that runs behind my apartment too, and it'll wake everyone up at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Sweet. So why did you pick the colors you picked? Go through them.
Why did I pick the colors I picked? I love all things bright and neon.
Okay.
So I got a selection of the brightest ones I could find. They remind me of summer and happiness.
Yeah.
And then I guess I got like a high priestess color palette here with the blues and purples, because I always find them very relaxing. And then one that doesn't fit in either category. I guess I'm just trying to like heal my femininity or something.
Okay, I feel that. All right, so just draw whatever you want. You can write words. I mean, literally do whatever you want.
Okay.
And don't worry about finishing because most people don't.
Okay.
So the first question, what makes you the most upset? Like what really pisses you off?
Knowing that no matter how clearly I articulate something, I'm not going to be heard. Knowing that, like going into a fight that you're kind of like designed to lose, or a confrontation where the other person is not there to listen. So you're wasting your time thinking of a way to explain yourself to someone who was never going to hear it in the first place.
Okay. And what makes you the happiest?
Laughing with people I love and forgetting time, just losing myself in the moment.
Okay. What are you most afraid of?
That I'll end up like my mom.
Do you feel comfortable explaining that?
Sure.
Okay.
My mom, it's funny because this kind of reminds me of, my mom died when I was 6 years old. She committed suicide, and this kind of reminds me of the therapy sessions. They would give me something to draw while they were
Really?
talking and therapizing me. Yeah. But she was addicted to drugs from a young age because of a surgery that she had when she was really young. And it ultimately ended in a severe addiction and her committing suicide. And I've struggled with depression and suicidal thoughts my whole life. And there's times where I've been really angry at my mom for doing it. And then there's times where she, took her life when she was 42 and I'm 29. And sometimes I can't believe she made it that long. So I think empathizing with her has helped my fear of not being like her. I'm not so angry at her anymore, but she's my closest mirror and my worst nightmare.
For sure. Okay. Make a facial expression that explains you. Like, if you were a facial expression, what would it be?
I would like to think it's a big smile. But that depends on when you catch me.
True. What's your favorite song right now?
2009 by Mac Miller.
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh my god, I love him. Rest in power, legend.
Okay, so explain to me what social media is to you. What do you think about it? And how do you use it?
I use social media like any self-respecting person to mindlessly scroll for hours and hours when I have nothing else to do. The times where Instagram has been down, I've really needed to take a long, hard look at what I'm doing with my life. But on my better days and in my better moments, social media has been a way to put out a siren song for people who are looking for me and for the people that I'm looking for. I think it's so important in this world to announce yourself and to let yourself be known. And social media, particularly Instagram, has been the most potent and effective place to do that. It's just where people are. So I adore social media because we had no money when we first ever opened EM. We had no budget. And that's where I put out the call. That's where I let myself be known. It's a anonymous and safe enough of a place where I think other people feel comfortable coming to be known. And I think that we kind of wax sentimental about another time where people met a different way. And I don't know about you, but I've had a cell phone and a front-facing camera since 5th grade. So there was no
same.
other way. I grew up on the internet, I grew up on technology, so I don't feel so much of that sentimentality for the old ways, even though they still have value and I still participate in them.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is entirely what we decide to make of it. It can be a weapon, it can be a tool, it can be a powerful ally. In this case, it's completely how I've built my business and make my livelihood. So I love social media.
Do you feel like you make more through social media or through people actually walking through the door?
Now it's social media.
Okay.
When we first opened for the first couple of years, in-store sales were the primary thing, but that was before we started doing Instagram sales. So we kind of learned Instagram sales along the way, as we just kind of were running the business.
Yeah.
So now it's pretty even between online and in-store. The Durham community is amazing, so supportive. We get a really good percentage of our business from here, but we're fortunate that online has grown beyond that.
Okay. Do you have a 5-year plan?
No. I gave up my 5-year plan when I gave up my 9 to 5. I don't even have a 1-week plan.
Okay.
So it's been really scary for me because I've been a person who's kind of lived and died by my lists and my organization, and really thought that if I didn't have those things, then all my shit would fall apart. But this winter, when I was kind of battling with a bout of depression, I kind of developed this method, I guess, of waking up and seeing what the day wants from me. And I found that kind of slowly but surely is what saw me out of that space of not waking up, like imposing myself on the day. I mean, there's obviously, I have to work, I have to take my dog to the vet,
Yeah.
I have to, honor those things, but everyday magic, every time I've made a plan, has thwarted it and laughed at me and showed me her plan. So I've been beaten into submission on the idea that a 5-year plan is ever real.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any vices?
Yes. I love nicotine still, even though I have quit cigarettes. Looking at my jewel. Anger, rage, vindictiveness, like that's kind of like when I'm in that spot where I'm enraged, that's when I feel like this is my most toxic vice still, because like my whole energy changes, like what I want to do change, how I act is going to change. So that's been kind of my main focus of curbing anger and finding a way to deal with myself in that moment rather than making decisions that are going to produce consequences later.
True.
Yeah.
What is the hardest conversation you've ever had?
The hardest conversation I've ever had was when I was 17 and I was active in a 12-step program, and I had to go make amends to this family that I was babysitting while I was in active addiction. And so I had driven their kids around under the influence. I had really left them, the day that I got arrested, I left them in a bad situation. So I went, this was right before I went to college, and I went to their house. I hadn't seen them in a year, and I went to go make amends to them, and my sponsor actually had a bag in the car in case they sent me to jail, because they could have. So, and I had to look these people in the eye and tell them what I did, and also let them know that I wasn't that person anymore, and I would never do something like that outside of addiction, but that I was ready to face the consequences of it, whatever they decided. And the mom has a brother who's 30 years in recovery, and she wished me all the best and sent me on my way. So that was the hardest.
Yeah, that had to be tough.
But
amends are always.
Yeah, I mean, you do these things and you think you'll never need to answer for them, but we always need to answer for everything that we've done, even if it's not as direct as willingly going and making an amends.
Right.
The universe makes sure we
answer.
So it taught me a lot about, because I would have done anything not to do that. I would have done anything to not have that conversation. I begged my sponsor for another way. I'm like, please just let me donate money to something. Let me make an indirect amends. And
right.
There was, in no way would it have defined my character in the way that going to speak to them would have.
Do you have any weird habits? Or just like little things about yourself that like people probably wouldn't know unless they were like actually your friend and were with around you all the time?
Weird habits. Probably. None that I can think of. I mean, I guess smoking is a weird habit. Like, why would we do such a thing to ourselves? No, no. Maybe like hobbies, but habits. I mean, I'm sure I do. You're gonna have to ask someone else to.
Okay, what are your like hobbies then? Other than your full business.
Funny question. I have no time for hobbies. No, I'm just kidding. I guess reading cards isn't a hobby anymore. It's more of a job. I just recently started weaving again. So I learned this as a stress management when I was living in New York, like weaving on a loom, and I just actually laced up my loom again for the first time in years and years. So it's kind of been a full, like, everyday magic has been like kind of a full annihilation of every other part of my life since I've opened it. And I think if someone asked me, you know, would you do it again, knowing what you know, that you would lose so much of like yourself and your external world, I would. Like, this was the biggest dream I had, but
yeah,
you can lose yourself in your dreams as much as you can lose yourself in your nightmares. And I definitely have, like, even saying like hobbies or habits, I'm like, I don't know, I haven't even like looked in the mirror in like 2 weeks, like. So thank you for bringing that bit of work to my attention. Can I pick colors that I didn't initially select?
Of course, yeah. It's your world. Share an embarrassing moment.
Oh my God. So I was working as a waitress in Chicago. This was right before I left for college, and I was working at this Irish pub, and this whole soccer team came in and took up the main dining room, and they were so hot, every single one of them. Like a table of like 30 hot guys.
Oh my God.
And so I'm their server. I'm 18. I feel cute. They order, you know, drinks, all of them. Been a server for a long time, feeling good, feeling cute. I have like their tray of drinks, and I don't even know what happened. Like, I think it was just God being like, lol. Because I didn't even trip. Like, I think I was thinking so hard. I'm like, don't drop these, don't drop these, don't drop these, that I did. I dropped the whole tray. And the whole team just started clapping for me.
Oh my God.
And I went right through the kitchen and out the door to my car. I like went home. I like saw, like, I told the cook on the way, I'm like, find someone else to cover this table. I have to go.
Oh my God.
I just started crying in my car.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that was over 10 years ago. I haven't thought about that in so long.
I can't believe you just left.
Oh my! I just left. I mean, I was dead inside.
Like,
I'm like,
do anything
there's
else.
no life after this.
What?
I mean, I was 18. I'm like, my life is over.
Did you go back?
Yeah. I mean, I still work there, but I didn't go back for that shift.
Did you know how, like, in other jobs, if you just dip, they're gonna be like, what?
I've been very lucky with jobs with people who have
that are just cool and just don't.
They've given me the benefit of the doubt as a human.
Okay, that's awesome.
And I'm very lucky for that. But I'm still a terrible employee working for other people.
It's good to know about yourself.
Yeah, don't hire me.
A lot of people I've been interviewing recently have talked about their thoughts and issues on money. I wanted to ask you how you feel about money.
Absolutely. So I feel a bit strange participating in the conversation about money because I was not like one of those young business owners that was struggling financially to open a business. I was left a sum of money following my mom's death. There was a medical malpractice suit around her suicide. And when I turned 18, I found out that there was a sum of money left for me. So I was able to go to college without debt. I was able to buy a car without debt. I was able to open Everyday Magic without debt. And I guess what it looks like for a kid with a trust fund to be struggling with money is knowing that every single cent of that came from a bloodshed and a sacrifice that I would never trade my mom for that. So it's been everything that I've spent, it's always been like, can I justify this to them? Like, I didn't need to make a business plan, I didn't need to petition investors, but I did need to like sit down with you know, the energy of my mother and my grandmother and kind of come up clean on what I was spending. So I know that there's a whole level of shit that I don't have to think about because I didn't have to think about money that way. It doesn't mean that I don't think about it, but I don't think about it that way.
Good answer. What do you feel will restore connection, like in our generation? What's it gonna take?
what's it gonna fucking take? Oh my God. Radical vulnerability. Just such a willingness. Like the thing that makes you cringe about yourself, the thing that you never want anyone to know, like the thing that, that no one mustn't ever see, like willingly coming to the table, bearing those things. When I wrote What the Fuck is Tarot, there was such a fear. First of all, that my family was going to read it. Luckily, none of them have. Thanks, Dad. But also this feeling of like, oh my God, like, you know, now everyone's going to know that I've cheated in every relationship that I've been in. Now everyone's going to, you know, like there's these like moments where I'm like, don't fucking tell anyone that, you idiot. Like people think you're cool. They think you have your shit together. And it's like, that is the best. Like when I see humanity in people, like when I see them willing to kind of show something vulnerable but universal, that's what I find that sexy. I find it endearing. I find it's like what I respect the most about people who are willing to be honest about their human experience. Because I think for a while, I really did think that there was like classes of people. Some people were above me, some people were below me, and it was, and I think it was interacting enough with both of them to realize it's like, and I know it's like, it's so stupid, but it's like everyone's taking a shit and like wiping their ass. It's like, doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a billionaire. It doesn't matter if you have nothing. Like, so I think that we've spent so many generations celebrating our individuality that we've made ourselves islands. We prioritize what we look like from the outside because no one's on the inside. Like we're so individual that no one's really with us. So, I mean, we need to do the thing that we most don't want to do, which is take off our masks and see and show people what exists beyond the curation that we want them to believe. But if they believe it, then you're still alone. And it's like, okay, you win. You win. You're perfect. Have fun. Like, I don't know. Like, bye. Like, not same.
Right. Are you one of those people that sends important messages through text, or like if you need to talk to someone, you're like, let's meet in person and talk about this?
I used to be a person who would send long, important text messages through text, and now I'm very much not text. If I need to write it, like do it via email, fucking grown up, or you know, have integrity and do it in person. That's always the preferred method, especially if it's important. I think people deserve that if possible.
Okay. What's the nicest thing you've ever done for someone?
I had a friend in college, dear friend Ross. He's killing it now. He lives in LA. He does like experiential theater stuff for brands. But we were roommates my junior year of college, and we were best friends. And for his birthday, I bought this big moleskin notebook, and I got all of his friends to write him letters, like just saying what like he's meant to them, like, you know, whatever, like a love letter from every friend. And I had them give me movie ticket stubs and pictures and whatever, and like each person got like a page or like a couple pages, and I gave it to him on his birthday.
Did he cry?
He cried his eyes out.
Oh.
I cried my eyes out. He still has it. He brings it with him from place to place, wherever he goes. It's one of his most treasured items, and it was one of my most treasured experiences, making something that amazing for some. It was just like the thing that anyone would want to receive.
That is beautiful.
It was beautiful. I was chasing motherfuckers down for those letters. A bunch of college kids. Literally, like, taking, like, the T. We were in Boston, so I was, like, taking the T from, like, Cambridge to Fenway. Yeah, but it was worth it.
Oh, my God. Hell yeah. What are you self-conscious about?
Everything. I'm self-conscious that there's something in my teeth. I'm self-conscious that my hips are too big. I'm self-conscious that my voice is annoying, or that, like, my profile isn't as cute as, like, my front view. Like, I'm just self-conscious about, you know, like, I have the requisite self-consciousness of a woman in America.
Perfect. Do you watch TV?
So much. I love TV.
Okay, what are, like, some of your favorite shows?
Oh my God, Big Little Lies is definitely up there. What I'm thinking about what I'm watching right now, I'm watching Big Little Lies, I'm watching Handmaid's Tale. I'm watching Euphoria, just came out. So good. All-time favorite show is 6 Feet Under on HBO. It is truly, it ended in like I think 2006 or something, but truly a life-changing. I just rewatched that. Gossip Girl is a classic. Shit's coming back.
Yeah, I know.
Very excited. I have a mix of terrible and incredible taste in television.
Okay. Open-ended question. What's missing?
I think still that feeling of like where I belong, like who are my people. Like I feel like I've gotten a lot of lessons in who are not my people and like why I've chosen that over and over again. But I think I have a sincere longing right now to have not the remainder of my life that's not occupied by my work, but like that part of my life be filled by community and connection more so than it is right now. This has been a very solitary time of my life, and I think it needed to be to learn the things that I did, but I think that humans are meant to go into the hermit for a specific time, for a specific reason, but we're not intended to stay there.
Okay, second to last question. Are you happy?
That's such a good question. I've actually spent a lot of time thinking about that question. I don't think happiness is always a choice, but I'm at a point in my life where, for me, it is on a day-to-day basis, and on a daily basis, I'm choosing to be happy.
And the last question, I give everyone the same scenario. So all like electronic whatever shuts down, but the phones, the TVs, the computers, pops up PSA, public service announcement, and then it's your face. What are you gonna say to the world?
Oh my God, I think I would run and grab my cards. I don't think I have anything. I would want to go into channel for them. I'm tired of my own thoughts and my own, I don't have anything good enough, like, in my brain hole right now for the whole world. So I think that I would grab my cards and do a collective for them, just like I do a collective on Sundays.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh my God, my literal pleasure.
This was beautiful.
I so enjoyed it.
I want to see what you drew. Show it to the camera. Oh, I love it. What is it?
I have no idea.
It looks like a kite.
It does look like a kite. It kind of started off looking like a chrysalis, then it looked like a kite.
I love all the colors. Can you sign it?